Glorious day to you, my friends. Sihotor Irsha Arahana Eka Siddhiyota Horarata. You already know the title. I don't quite yet. I know what it's about. We're going to talk more secrets of Muladhara, and we're going to talk about the triangle that's in Muladhara, this Traipura Trikona, this Shakti, this essence of Shakti. Today's also Navaratri, this 9 nights of celebrating the Mother Goddess Durga, who represents the Adi Parashakti, the ultimate personification of the Shakti energy. Shakti is power, it's movement, it is all of the fuel that we need, all of the inspiration that we need in this life. Sihitora, Nisahatara, Arahana, Ekiorohotatara. And the fact that this triangle is baked into you. It's already built into you. And it is one of the reasons that you are already 100% successful. Now, the secret is, it's really no secret, is that Muladhara is way more than just our foundation, more than just our root. Muladhara contains everything. It contains all the other chakras. All the chakras contain all the energy of all the other chakras, yes. But Muladhara contains the blueprint, it contains the energy, it contains the kundalini, it contains everything. We talked about the square and the circle on Pi Day, on Navaratri, the 9 nights, Nava, 9, Ratri, nights, Sikotara Watari. No matter what your gender, no matter how you identify, everything in this channel is a permission slip so that you see yourself. That's it. So that you see your true authentic self in your heart center, dancing in your lotus of awareness, as you're in your engine room, in your basement, in Muladhara, in this triangle, this Shakti. It's downward pointing, Adhomukhi. It's downward pointing, signifying the descent of grace. Your descent into this physical body through grace, your essence, your true essence. Everything is talking about you and your true essence. And the invitation to see it and to be it and to dance with it and to dance as it. And the Shakti is no different. The Shakti is in you and around you, all around you. It is your dynamic essence. It is a part of who you really are. In the presence, it's your dynamic flow. It is you. It is the divine flow. It is the fuel of the engine, and it is the engine itself, along with your mind, your chitta, the way that you think, and the way that your heart thinks, the way that your true, authentic self thinks. The Shakti is how we connect back to our true, authentic self. This engine is going around. There are 3 points to this triangle. This Iccha Shakti, this divine truth, this divine will, this Jnana Shakti, which is another one of the points, this wisdom and knowledge of the universe that's baked into us. And then this Kriya Shakti, us acting in completeness, not acting from all the things that we think that are wrong with us. Because when we think that they're wrong with us, we start asking and begging for forgiveness. We think that there's something wrong with us so that we're hesitant in life. The energies of today are about reconciliation with your true authentic self. This is the only reconciliation that matters. That you see yourself in the divine true light. With this Iccha Shakti, with the Sat, the truth of reality. Iccha Shakti is this axis. There are 4 axes that make up your Merkaba, your light body, your dynamic engine, that who you are. And this divine will, this will of Shakti, this will that's baked into the force of the universe, that is the will of your heart. Because this axis goes through your heart center, goes through Anahata, and it goes through Hridaya, your spiritual heart, your connection to all that is. And this is just an idea that connects your crown to your heart, to the root chakra. That's it. Through the truth of reality. This Iccha Shakti. And it's interesting that depending on where you go in India, depending on who your guru was or is, and teaching you this Iccha, the pronunciations of all of these are different in different regions. And I think it's really interesting that Iccha is very similar to Isha, this divine presence. But this connection, this true essence, this truth of who you really are, this axis on which you built your light body. And then this Jnana Shakti, this axis that connects Agnya, our third eye, Anya, and Swadhisthana, our sacral chakra. This is our water and light axis. This is where we get our knowledge and where we... This is our navigation axis. This is our gyroscope. This is everything guiding us back to who we really are. And then as we sit in our power, in our essence, maybe we decide to then get up and dance as our true authentic self. And this Kriya Shakti, this power of righteousness and complete action. Kriya just means karma, but karma as a human is, I did that, cause and effect, something is coming back to me. Because what we give out to the universe is what we get back. When we put out anger, that's what we get back. When we put out enlightenment, that's what we get back. When we put out joy, that's what we get back. And when we put out these things from our inner being, this is the Kriya. This is the acting from the center of who we really are. Not acting from this stance of how we think we're supposed to act. That's how we get into trouble. This is how we cause the ripple effects, because we're so self-righteous about how we're supposed to act that we act that way. But when we start seeing in the mirror that this is not our true authentic self, when we start seeing the shadow aspects of our beliefs, how we see things, and how we say things, and how we do things, all these things are just opportunities to reconcile with our true authentic self, with our heart center, with what brings out our joy. And the more we look in the mirror, the more that we see the shadow side of ourselves, the more that we're convinced that this shadow is there. And the more that we judge the shadow, the more that the shadow is there. As soon as we accept that this shadow, that this ability of me to see the light and the dark, to see the right and the wrong, and then to choose what my heart desires, to choose through joy. Then the next time I look in the mirror, I see my true authentic self. I see my joyful self. And yes, I can see that dark side if I choose. It's not that I'm ignoring to see the dark side. It's not that we ignore to see the dark side. We accept it as the whole of who we are. We accept this contrast in this reality. We accept it. And when we spend more time with our inner being shows us ways to see things differently. So we don't see it as contrast. We see it as experience. We see it as, yes, I did not choose, preferably at this point, but now that I am aligned, that I have my three axes, my axes of truth, my axes of, I have the freedom to see things the way I choose to, the way I wish. And the inner being is proud of us no matter what. And the inner being, when we experience this contrast, just says, I love you. And here's another way we can see this situation. It's that simple. And then when we act, this Kriya Shakti, along this axis of Vishuddha and Manipura, this divine masculine axis of action, of inspiration and action, and the divine feminine axis, this jnana, wisdom axis. Sihukutara arhana akasita arhatata. They're singing their song. We're singing our song through action, through thoughts, through words, through life. Titukur hutor ursatara. And when we decide to see things that way, that this life is beautiful and grand, and we can choose to see it that way. This is what this engine in Muladhara, this triangle, this Traipura Trikona, this, in the celebration of Navaratri, this 9 nights of Adi, this ultimate, Para, the ultimate, Shakti. We can personify this essence of power, this Shakti. We can't help but, because it is who we are. We're the presence of Shiva. We are this dynamic, the dynamics of Shakti, which is our true power. And when we realize this, we don't stop ourselves anymore. And then the rest of the universe does not stop us. That's it. This also represents our engine in the basement that we think is the basement. And the only reason this is our foundation, because back with the square and the 2 diagonals, when we see ourselves as our true authentic self, which is one of the diagonals, and the other diagonal is then we accept the freedom to see it other ways, but we're choosing to see it the way our heart sees it. And we no longer limit ourselves. This is, the other axis is this freedom versus protection. That's it. Freedom versus protection, and the freedom to see ourselves in any way, shape, or form. But when we're aligned with the center, which is in our Sushumna, this channel of ease and peace, which is our Bhakti Shakti, this access of devotion to our true authentic self and our true heart's desires. This is all this alignment. And then around us is this dynamics that is the Tantra. That's it. This dynamics of who we really are and how we choose to see things and how we choose to act. The power of Shakti is it's always supporting us. This is our vehicle of the breath. This is our vehicle of creating our reality. We can continue to see things as the human in us. We can choose to see things as our inner being. We can choose to act from our inner being with our Shakti, with our Traipura Trikona, our Shakti as our Adhomukhi Shakti, our dynamic self, the self of truth and action and thought. And we're 100% successful. You and I, we. Sihukutara, Sata, Nirahura Nahate, Shohuka A, Sihita, Sona Nahata Artakaya, Sawaka Aso Hutoro, Ka Sahayata A Tehara, Hota Nar Kasana, Shahito Urahawa, Sadia Rahanaya, Kashkanana Artahayat Artuhua. Nor ukahawa ata iskanahata arkuhota shikuura arwahana atita hata katsana arhata shoto uta haya akatar takiryara narhaka ayatohora sarhatara arhanayaka toro ara sinara arohakawa siara tora kaina hataru kasa tatirata. That was a long-winded way for them to say, Sihukanariata Hatara, is that you descended from grace and incarnated here. You built yourself from Muladhara. You created this light body and this idea of separation. You descended from grace. You can choose to live from, with, and as grace itself, which is what Shakti is. Kura Hartanarya Raha.